Hello, I'm Ollie and this is Criminolly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, the delights of trashy fiction. This is the official closing ceremony for GarbAugust 1.5, The Wasted Weekend. So before I get into talking about how wonderful trashy books are, trust me, you need to stay and watch this video to the end. I have something very special prepared for the GarbAugust closing ceremony, the likes of which I think you have never seen on BookTube before. So do stay tuned for the end of the video. And it's not going to be a long video, so I'm not going to make you sit through loads of my waffle to get to the end. But yeah, stick around, it'll be worth it. So anyway, GarbAugust. So GarbAugust, last August and this mini GarbAugust is all about the pleasures of reading trashy fiction. And I'm filming this on kind of Sunday morning, so I've done 2 reading sprints for GarbAugust. Did one yesterday and one again this morning. And between those 2 sprints, I think I had probably about over 100 people joining and reading trashy books with me. So I've been reading this weekend Casca, God of Death by Barry Sadler, which is a very entertaining kind of men's adventure novel about an eternal soldier who is cursed to never die and ends up fighting in a bunch of different wars as a result. And then also read Kansas City Cop by Julie Miller, which is a romantic suspense novel about a policewoman who gets injured and then forms a relationship with her physiotherapist as she recovers, but also tries to get to the bottom of the initial crime. So both of these were just pure entertainment. And I'm currently reading Endless Night by Richard Lehman, which is a kind of horrible suspense novel about home invasion, basically. So it's quite grim, but again, really entertaining, really gripping. And I think the thing that unites all 3 of these books, and that they are very different from each other, is really that they are easy reading. And I think there is comfort in easy reading. And one of the attributes of BookTube, and one of the great things about BookTube, is that we use it to encourage each other to read better. Yeah, to read more challenging books, to read more widely, to read different kinds of books, to read books by authors who we wouldn't otherwise have read. And that's fantastic. I think it's really important that we do that, and I really enjoy that aspect of BookTube. I really enjoy being challenged to read different things. But I think the problem with that is it's not necessarily always fun, is it? It can be difficult at times. I found it recently in my project where I'm reading classic books, that some of those classic books I really have not enjoyed very much. Some of them been amazing, but some of them I haven't enjoyed. And that for me is where trash fiction comes in. Trash fiction is reliable. It doesn't place any demands on you as a reader. And I think it's important that we read things like this sometimes, because it reminds us of why we got into reading in the first place. So if you think back to when you were a kid, and I imagine this is true for people out there, certainly true for me. As a kid, I was obviously encouraged to read for school, and was happy to read for school. But the books I read for school were not necessarily books I enjoyed. They either felt too babyish or just boring. And it was books like Kansas City Cop and Casca, God of Death, and so not books literally like this, but books that were simple, easy reading that made me fall in love with reading as a pastime. And I think when we are constantly challenging ourselves to read more difficult books, sometimes we lose sight of that. We lose sight of the fact that reading should be fun, that it should be pleasurable, that it should be a way of switching off from the outside world. Now, some people, may be able to do that when they're reading, Dostoevsky or someone like that. Personally, I can't. And I find a pleasure in reading trashy books that I don't get from reading more challenging books. Because as I say, they don't make any demands on me. I can just enjoy them. I can just enjoy the stories and the characters and the situations. And I don't have to be looking for deeper meaning. I don't have to, be trying to understand the message that the author is relaying in the book. it's just there for fun, and the authors know that they're just there to provide entertainment. They're not trying to, they're not trying to reflect on, on the human existence or anything like that. They're just there to give you as the reader a good time. And I think it's enormously important that we do that for ourselves sometimes, that we allow ourselves to read books that aren't stretching us, that aren't challenging us, that aren't going to make us better people, because it's really, really important that we always remember that first and foremost, reading should be entertaining. That's why we fell in love with reading when we were kids. And that, certainly for me, that's why I keep reading. And while I may try and intersperse the trashy stuff I read with more challenging books, trash is always, going to be where my heart is. So, reflecting back on GarbAugust, it's been, I've really enjoyed reading, 3 trashy books back to back. I haven't quite finished the Richard Lehmer one yet, but I'm halfway through it. I'll definitely finish it this weekend. So it's been relaxing for me in a way that reading isn't always relaxing. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think from the reading sprints I've run, it feels like the people who've been involved in those have enjoyed the books they've read as well. So please do let me know in the comments, what you've been reading for GarbAugust, and whether you've enjoyed it and how it has felt, particularly if you're someone who doesn't normally read this kind of book, whose reading diet is maybe more focused on heavier stuff. How has it felt reading stuff that is just pure fluff, basically? Have you enjoyed it? Has it made you feel different from reading heavier works of fiction or non-fiction? So yes, that's the kind of ramble out of the way. So this, as I said at the start, is the closing ceremony for GarbAugust 1.5. GarbAugust will return in August of this year. I've already got a number of thoughts for things we can do for it, but that will be, rather than just a weekend, that will be a month-long reading event. Last time round we had like bingo cards, we had themes for the different weeks and things like that. So I'm sure we will be doing things like that again. I'm already starting to corral a group of co-hosts to support me during the event. So there will be all sorts of stuff going on in August, but this event, the Wasted Weekend, was intended to just introduce people to the concept of reading trash. So as I say, hopefully it's been an enjoyable experience for you. Now, no closing ceremony will be complete without some music with it. And I'm very, very pleased to announce that I've managed to secure a special musical finale for GarbAugust 1.5. So without further ado, to play us out, I'm going to introduce you to the one, the only, the king of rock and roll, Mr. Elvis Presley. Take it away, Elvis.
Oh, yeah. All right. Woo! Bright lights say they're gonna set my soul. I'm gonna set my soul on fire. Got a whole lot of brothers ready to burn. So get those stakes up higher. There's 1,000 pretty women waiting out there. They're all living the devil may care. And I'm just a devil with love to spare. Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! Oh, how I wish that there were more than the 24 hours in the day. But even if there were 41, I wouldn't see the minute go away. Well, the blackjack, the poker, and the roulette wheel, of course, is one of the laws on every deal. Now all you need is stronger than a pair of steel. Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas with the old neon blasting and the waterman crashing all your homes down the drain. Viva Las Vegas, turning day in the nighttime, turning tide in the daytime. You see it once, you'll never be the same again. Oh. I'm gonna keep on the run, I'm gonna have me some fun. It cost me my very last dime. If I wind up broke, well, I'll always remember that I had a swing in time. Well, I'm gonna give her everything I got. Legal police, let the dice stay hot. I will be shooting 7 without every shot. Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! Viva Oh, baby. Yep. Ho. 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 Yeah. Ho. Ho. Yeah. Happy GarbAugust, everybody. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Wasn't that amazing? So, thank you very much. Now, you may have guessed that wasn't the real Elvis Presley. He wasn't available. That was one of the UK's premier Elvis impersonators, Mr. Craig Jefferson. I will leave links to Craig's YouTube channel and his website in the description for the video, should you want to check him out. But I think you will agree that was an absolutely fantastic way to finish GarbAugust. So hope you enjoyed that as much as the rest of the event. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.